home of the Sunblood Tribes. You understand that? You know what I'm saying? Today, you catch me in all red today. Reason why that is it symbolizes who I am. You understand? People call these horns, and they're not horns to me. You understand? So it's like doing a live that's dedicated to myself, you know, and putting this out to the world. That way, you can get to know me for who I am. You understand? So, right in this moment, this is supposed to be, my supposedly birthday month, you know, and the things that I'm speaking about, right? Don't get me wrong, I ain't emotionally attached to nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about my life experiences, what I'm really going through, or what I done got past, right? And what what awareness you gain by doing that. Yeah. So for myself, you know what I mean? Just like let's just speak about my dressing and stuff. Like back in time, I dress. That's me right there. You know what I mean? That's me. So it's like I had I had on a brown hat that day. You know, kind of similar to this one. Kind of similar to this one right here. You know, and some people would ask, you know, why you wear the brown hat? Why you wear this? And to me, it's like, you know, when you put it on, let's switch out real quick. You know, some people ask, they're like, damn, look like you the new sheriff in town, huh? So, you know, I do what I do. I live the way I want to live. I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I live just the way I want to live. And hey, how can I say in simple terms? You know, I like the I like fashion. If you want to know something about me, I love fashion. I definitely do. Fashion, it expresses yourself. You know, some people would say like, "Yo, it brings expression." I look like I'm in the future right now. You know, so when you do fashion, it kind of express, different variations in yourself. You know, and you should pull it up. You shouldn't keep it in. You should express it. You know, so I love fashion. That's one thing I do love. I gotta make this hat a little bit bigger, but you get the concept. You know, I wear it like this because it's just on there. Some people they pull it all the way down, and they just put it on there. You know, but that's what I like doing. Fashion is definitely one of my, one of my. How can I say in simple terms? I feel like something is naturally just given, born with. You know what I'm saying? Something that you like. Yeah, you can't take this away from me right here. So that's what I like. Now we got another live that's gonna be coming right around the 12 a.m. You know what I mean? So tune in. Make sure you tune in, or whatever the case may be. But this live is like dedicated to express to my viewers, certain things about myself. Like you wear red all the time. It symbolizes who I am. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my glasses, my shades, everything. They just symbolize who I am. You know what I mean? So, you know, I got many shits. I got many shits. You know what I'm saying? I got many shits. Like, oh, I got different shades for different time frames, baby. I'm trying to tell you. I got a scene for everything. You be like, bro, I got a scene for everything. I'm trying to tell you. Fashion, baby. Fashion, fashion. Get to it. Shit. Hopefully y'all doing great out there. Y'all doing great. Hopefully y'all doing great. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? I would say this, so I say to the people: if you are going through something, right? If you are going through something and you feel as though like, I should make the next person feel the way I feel. That's not the solution to your problem. That's not the solution to your problem. I would say this: the person that's in front of you, right? At least they got the solution to themselves. They're not repeating what you're doing. You see that? How you don't know that you actually tearing down? You're not tearing down someone else. You're trying to tear down yourself. You actually want to be that reflection. That's the truth. You do. You do. You trying to make somebody that's not the trash into the trash. Now you think about that. What you doing? See that? You trying to make somebody into trash that's not trash. You're trying to make them into it. Now you think about that. Now that person must mean more to you though. They got to. Because on a simple fact, your whole orbit around them is to distort who they are. They mean something to you, man. Thank you. They the bigger fish. You the sardine, unfortunately. They're the shark and you're the sardine, okay? That's the angle you picked. Okay? So you can't get mad at their self progress. Just because you get some rockets and get the flaming them up and throwing them that way, it doesn't mean that it's going to land that way. Do you know why? I'm gonna tell you why, right? So one time recently, this is what happened, right? I'm gonna show you how when people take their little rockets and throw them at you, how they don't land. You want that part of the game? Everybody tell you how everybody get their rockets and then land on them, right? And do destruction on them. You want me to show you the part of the game where it doesn't happen? I'll show you. Come on. Understand that most people, right, when they're trying to distort you, right, or your life, right, you got to understand that they are going to operate as the past. I want you to know that, okay? Thumbs up, all right? Now, can I ask you a question? Are you, right, operating as the past in order for the past to operate through you? Let me show you the moves so we can understand. One time I was working as a dishwasher, right? I said this a couple of days ago, right? One day I was working as a dishwasher, right? Going through a certain experience. There was a Puerto Rican guy that was there, right? I told him, I said, yo, bro, yo, your coat that you got on, that joint is flaming, bro. I like that joint. That is nice. I'm like, yo, you got a trench coat. You got the long one. It looks like it's really like warm and inside. I'm like, yo, bro, where you get that coat from? He like, oh, I got it. You know what I mean? I got it from a certain store. I'm like, you can be honest with you, it looked like you got that coat from Macy's. That's how, like, it looks really nice. It looked like you got it from Macy's. This is what he tells me. He's like, oh no, this is what he said. Okay. His name is the guy that I'm talking about. His name is Alexis. Yeah, Alexis. That's his name. Alexis basically told me. He said that he wouldn't buy a coat. Right? How you doing? How you doing? He wouldn't buy a coat from Macy's. He said that Macy's would probably be overpriced. Not actually realizing like, nah, Macy's got some items in there that's actually very affordable. You know what I'm saying? So what ended up happening in that sequel is that we both went into the kitchen, right? And after that happened, I would say the next day it rolled over, right? The next day I got to see him again. I'm in the section with the dishwasher and everything. Now I'm washing dishes and stuff. One of the supervisors came up to me. He was like, "Yo, bro, can you take your break at 8:30? Because the next dishwasher that's with you, they about to leave at 9. So I'm like, oh, it ain't no problem. Let me go ahead and do that. Right? So 8:30 came around, right? 8:30 came around, what the case may be, right? When 8:30 came around, what ended up happening was this, right? Pay attention. What ended up happening was this. Around 8:55, right? I came back into the kitchen, right? I was sitting by the sink, right? There was a Puerto Rican lady that came into the dish that came into the kitchen too. What she decided to do was she was actually raking out like certain meats and stuff like that. And what she was doing was she was throwing away certain things. And as she was throwing away, I'm looking at her because I'm like, okay, she throwing away all these different meats. That let me know none of these type of meats can actually go in the garbage disposal. If I put them in the garbage disposal, it's gonna clog the whole thing up. I'm like, all right, cool, great. Another Puerto Rican guy comes up and to the Puerto Rican lady, he tells her like, yeah, stop doing what you're doing. He's supposed to be doing that. So I'm looking confused because I'm like, what's going on here? This environment was a working environment and now it turned into a hostile environment. Oh, snaps. So let's watch how this going to play out. Okay. So this is what I did. I came around the counter and I went up to the guy and I told the guy, I said, hey, are you okay? And when I asked this guy, are you okay? I don't know what's going on with the Puerto Ricans. I don't know what's going on with y'all. But when I asked him, are you okay? This guy just said, oh, fuck you. This, that, the third, such and such. Want to fight? What's up? So I'm like, okay, look, like right now, we are not in an alley, right? Where we can actually just, do what we do, right? Right now, what we can do is not operate as our past self. Because what's going to happen is this. If we beat this guy up in the kitchen, what's going to happen is they're going to call the cops. You're going to lose your job. And after you lose your job, they're going to throw your ass in the slammer. Do you want that? So I said, no, I don't want that. Nah, I don't want that right there. So I decided to operate as myself, right? And when I operated as myself, I basically stepped back from him, right? He was taking off his shirt and all that. I told the people, I said, look, people, he over here threatening me, right? He taking off his shirt and all that, whatever the case may be. Y'all not gonna do nothing? Y'all just gonna stand there? Guess what people start doing? The people started pushing the Puerto Rican dude back. They're like, stop doing what you're doing. Stop. Right? Now, this was funny about this whole situation. The people is working for me now. They realize I'm not getting aggressive. Okay? They realize I only came around the counter to ask him, are you okay? That's it. Okay? Now, this is the thing. I got the people on him, right? Now, this is the thing. I step out of the kitchen, right? The next cook comes in and tell the Puerto Rican dude he's fired. They fired Mr. Alexis. Yeah, they fired Mr. Alexis. They definitely fired Mr. Alexis, got Mr. Alexis Santiago up out of there. Not only that, they also they placed a warrant out for his arrest due to the actions of threatening and menacing. That is actually a violation in the state of New York. So with that being said, he has a warrant out for his arrest. He has to deal with that. With that being said, that lets me know how to operate in a business environment. You understand? We all have a certain job and tasks that we're doing, but understand this is a business, right? And I don't need to really, fight someone or to cause bodily injury, right? If I can actually call up protection for it. You understand? So it's how you use the environment that you are in and to bend it to your will. Because if I have operated as my past self, right, and said, like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and beat this guy up, guess what happens? Guess what happens? Guess. Let's see what this is.
Hello. This is Jordan House calling to remind Tony of your appointment on Tuesday, November 25th at 10 o'clock a.m. with Eric Kerr at Brown Square. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Whatever that's supposed to mean, right? And it's so now, right? This why it be understanding. So it's like, that's how you operate in certain environments, right? To generate certain realities that you really want. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, I understand the environment that it really be coming down to like self hate shit, stuff like that, right? That I'm not, me personally, I'm not trying to, I don't want to practice. You know what I mean? I don't want to practice what other people practice. You know what I'm saying? I just basically watch, you know what I mean, how it basically destroyed them. Because basically I realized that if I didn't act like him, then the people, they looking at it like you ain't getting hostile. And the people actually spoke for me. They said it was like, yeah, he actually just stood there. See? That's it. Because whatever he do leads him into further trouble. See? So, right? You playing the game, you know what I mean? You can play the game the way how yourself wants you to play. Or you can play the game how you think you should play it, right? And I feel like with the both of us, he was playing the game with his thoughts. I'm playing the game with knowing. That's the difference. So in that situation, I still have my job. I still have my income, coming in. Not only that, uh, they fired him. Yeah, they fired the boy. God damn. But the boy did it to himself. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you operate in a certain environment, just because someone get hostile, you gotta understand this is not an alley, right? Where you gotta protect yourself. This is a situation where it's in a restaurant. All you literally have to do is let that person operate the way they gonna operate. That's it. Let them go ahead and do that. They gonna show them who they is in front of everybody else, and then everybody else is a witness to what's going on. Thank you. Setups. They're a witness, so they gonna only say the things that was in front of them. Thank you, which was the truth, and the truth was I just stood there. That's it. So with that being said, what I understood with myself is in that moment, by operating truthfully, the people will speak for you truthfully. If you operate in a way that's not in the best interest for yourself, that's really a lie, right? And how you operating with yourself, then the lie's gonna play out on you. Thank you. Sure. Now, now, right? What I can say is, you know what I mean? For myself, what I realize is like I like to operate as myself in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Hey, you gotta operate as yourself, don't you? You gotta be high tech smart out here, not low tech. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know angles, viewpoints, perception. You get to know all that, then you get to know how to move in situations. Okay? Every situation don't take you have to put your hands on the next person. You understand what I'm saying? Certain situations may have to go like that. Yeah. But then certain time you can just literally make a phone call and somebody can protect you. That's it. It's very simple. It ain't really hard out here. Okay? So you know what I mean? Um, how can I say? I don't even watch football. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Oh, dang. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Some people in the comment section, I guess they still upset with themselves. Um, The projections that they project though, I don't have no like I don't have no way about it or nothing like that. I don't. I really don't. I be really just enjoying myself, things that's going on, shit like that. I don't really like get into all the how can I say shenanigans and stuff like that. Not really. Kind of like what's going on out there. I just be watching. I really do. Like the whole ice thing that's going on out there. I just be like really watching. Some people they may ask me for my point of views, and I be like, my point of view is just to watch. That's it. Really, that's it. It's just like watching the show. That's it. Everybody like, you don't got nothing to say about it. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just watching it. That's it. That's all I can say. I know a lot of people. For some people, they operate in a mind state of control, man. So they look at it like, well, if you're not saying nothing about it, then something wrong with you. Like, no, ain't nothing wrong with me. Some things you just don't want to interject yourself into. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you might see something going on, but you like, I ain't trying to be a part of that. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So, for what I can say is, to me, ICE is doing a great job. Oh yeah, for sure. They not doing nothing bad. They doing what they supposed to do. That's what their jobs consist of. They do. Okay. So to me, the whole ICE thing and deportation thing that's going on, one of the best things that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? One of the best things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? On Sunblood Island. But yeah, like I was saying before, the reason why deportation is going on so much is because a lot of people, they're not really supposed to be here. They're not. They're just not in the best interest of the country. You understand? And so, like, what you watching is pretty much like the ripple effect of the whole system. Imagine you having a system, right, where you bring illegals in, they bring drugs in the country, they bring, all different type of crazy people here. And we supposed to just house criminals? Hell no. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. So what happens is, right, they get kicked back. That's it. You got to go back to your country. And I can say immigrants are very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. They come over to the land as if they already know what's on the land. No. A lot of y'all immigrants, just being honest, y'all have very nasty attitudes. Y'all do. And how y'all treat the natives here is very, very nasty. Very nasty. I am in a sanctuary city that consists of probably about over 50% of immigrants. And I'm just paying attention to how they operate. You understand what I'm saying? And then starting to understand why so many of them are being deported. Do you understand? Y'all got to get the fuck out of our country. That's it. Do you understand? Okay? I don't care if you upset, you get mad, you ignore, because you know what's happening? You can't ignore reality pulling up on your tech and deporting your tech back where it came from. Do you understand? That's what's happening. Everybody trying to ignore reality. You can ignore as much as you want to, but you're only ignoring the reality of yourselves. That's it. That's it. Okay? So, like I said before, everything that's going to play is going to play the way it's going to play. It's just like me watching, right, the revealance of everything that's going on in the government, right? And then watching the revealance of everything that's supposed to be in this fake ass family. Do you understand? Okay. So that's just what it is today. For real, for real. You know what I mean? A lot of people fake. A lot of people not living up to the limelight of their real internal selves. They just not want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all great, but I would say get that shit away from me. Because I'm doing the opposite. I'm not about to sit here and re-upload the damn matrix in my damn mind, knowing that this shit gonna crash out anyway. Talking about something, that's the only thing we got today. No, that's the only thing you tried to install in your mind today. That's it. So you can keep doing it over and over and over and over and over, not realizing the technology of your mind, right? you can install experiences in your mind, right, to repeatedly keep doing them over and over. But what you got to understand with the experience is that is this experience to uplift you, put you in the knowing of mistakes, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or is it just designed to just crash you out repeatedly? And then you just getting up and just signing up for the repeated crash. No, no, no. So in this country, a lot of people not going to understand a lot of things that's actually rolling out. And the reason why that is because actually everyone actually does understand what's going on. Everyone understand that there's a new galactic change that's actually happening on Earth. That's what's going on. Things that human beings cannot control. Do you understand? All right. So with that being said, or whatever the case may be, everything, right, that human beings are trying to hold back as a whole is going to play anyway. It don't even matter. It's like looking at a screen and you like, you listen, you know, the more y'all hold it back, you know how much energy is drawn more. Do you know how much? Do you know? Let me show you something. Everybody that's supposed to be in this family that I done departed from, right? They trying to hold experiences back. That's what they trying to do, right? Not realizing like, yo, these experiences right here, if y'all wouldn't have held them back, they would have built bonds for y'all to experience a better lifestyle, a new. You see what I'm saying? Everyone thinking like in the family, like, oh yeah, we could just do it on our own. And then the one that already done it, right, is telling them you're gonna crash out, right? Now they don't want to listen. Guess what happens? They figured it out on their own, right? That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being in it's like being in a certain setting where you just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let go of all them motherfuckers. For real. That way the new ones can play. Because the new and the old, I mean what it will, the future and the past, they don't play in the same shit. They don't. It's just like when you watch Sinners. When you watch Sinners, the two twins, that is nothing more than literally telling you and showing you like, yeah, this is a reflection of self. When you watch Sinners, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you got one twin that's with the other twin, right? Getting trained up, knowing what to do. The red twin already know what to do. He already know. He already lived this life before, right? And you got the blue twin, right? That's just like he just coming into his life, but at least he got himself, right, to guide him, back him, and everything. You know what I mean? So for me, right, while I'm talking about this, I'm just like, as long as I really focus up on self, I'm gonna be alright. Yeah, I'm gonna be alright. It's just that I feel like in the Matrix, it feels as though like if it used the people around you, right, it can pull you out of that, right? Which means that if it has to use that, these are literally the last straws. Because once you let them go, the Matrix can't use shit around you. Thank you. That's case closed. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, that's what I'm striving for. That's what I'm striving for. That's what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So every day is a new experience based on how you want to handle it, how you want to move, what's your real true perception of how you really move and view things. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And for me, things are getting better every day. Like every existence, everything get better for me. I never try to hold on to nothing that don't need to be held on to. You know what I mean? I tell it the truth. I see how it operates, and then I depart. That's it. I don't have nothing else. I don't have nothing else. Said what I said. That was it. Moving on. You know what I'm saying?